Do you take full responsibility for everything that happens that contributes to your performance? Do you put in full effort and hold yourself accountable to the effort that you put in? Or do you blame others for what happens to you or how you perform? These were some of the questions I asked in one of my past videos last month to help you gauge your level of ownership over your performance and over your success. And this was really one of the starting places for helping you to choose how you respond. Choosing how you respond is one of the core things that you have full control over. It helps you to choose your own way in this journey that you are on as an athlete, and really exploring how you can gain more ownership over your sports performance and your journey is what we're going to dive into here in this video. So let's look at ways that you can help yourself with gaining more ownership over your sports performance, and therefore helping you to be able to choose how you respond to situations that you find yourself in, as that's one of the few things that you have full control over. There's too many things on this journey that are out of your control, but you always have the freedom to choose how you respond to the situations and circumstances and things that happen to you and those things that you find yourself dealing with. So, number one of the ways that you can help yourself gain more ownership is really tapping into figuring out and connecting to why you play your sport. And why you play your sport needs to be deeper than get a scholarship. And not that saying that that is not a great goal to get a scholarship, but we're looking for something a little bit deeper. Why are you on this journey? Why are you choosing to put in the time, the energy, the effort to maybe sacrifice things that you won't be able to do because of this choice? But that ability to really choose why and to connect to why you are playing and participating in your sport is really, really important. And sometimes that gets lost. Sometimes it's forgotten about, put on the back burner, kind of back of mind. When you're young, you generally maybe know why you're playing the sport, and hopefully it is based off of you. That's super important. And it's important that as you continue on your sports journey, you get older, that you always reconnect to why you're doing this. And maybe it does change as you get older, why you're deciding to continue to play your sport. So really taking some time to think about why you play is one of the ways that you can take ownership over your sports performance. Number two is to choose to play or not to play each and every single year. What I mean by this is, too often what happens is you enter right into the next season without really taking a beat, taking a moment and reflecting on and making the conscious decision to enter into the next season, saying, this is what I'm deciding to do. I am choosing to do this again, choosing to spend another season, another year, however long your season may be, participating in this sport and participating at whatever level that you are participating it in. And that's really important, because as you taking ownership over what you're going to face over the next year, saying that this is my choice versus this is something that you have to do, that this is something you get to do, and you're making the choice, and that you're making the choice to do this versus maybe other things that you could do or spend your time doing. And this is really important because during that season, there are going to be maybe moments potentially where it's rough, it's hard, it's not as easy or as fun. And when you have consciously made that choice to step back in to another season, it's really going to help you kind of take ownership and own those moments and do what you need to do when it is a little bit more challenging, a little bit more of a struggle, which is going to happen. So super important, and something I think that does not happen often enough. Number three is own your mind. So owning your mind is really owning your mental performance, owning your mindset, your mental skills, and making sure you're doing the work to really train them. And I think that's really important, because I think this is one of the last things that athletes often take ownership over within their sports performance. They might own their physical skill sets, the technical, tactical aspects, but they kind of don't take ownership over the mental side. If you have really negative self-talk when you're performing, and that's hurting your performance, but you're not developing or training or doing anything to make that better for yourself, to have better self-talk, to be able to manage that better, to figure out how to create the space to be aware of your self-talk, to then be able to adjust it in a moment, then you are not really taking full ownership over your performance. If you just kind of are sitting there and saying, oh, my thoughts just kind of run away from me, you're not taking full ownership over your sports performance. Your thoughts are something that you can control. I do get that sometimes it feels like you can't, but you have to train it, and that's what allows you to take control over it and to direct your thoughts, direct your self-talk in the manner which is going to be helpful for you. But it requires time, it requires practice, and so you have to own the mental side of your performance. And that falls back on what I mentioned in the past video when I kind of started to breach into this subject, is you taking ownership over your performance means you have to take ownership over all the facets of your performance, everything that influences your performance. And your mental game does influence your performance, but if you're not doing things to train it, and if you're not doing things to help you in that side of the equation, then you're not taking full ownership. So own your mind, own that side of the equation, really work to train it, to develop it, to front load your skills to help you to be your best. Number 4 is to own the details. And what I mean by this is own the details is take ownership over all the tiny little things that make you 1% better. And sometimes it's easy to look for the big things, the big solutions, the big wins, the things that you feel are going to make a monumental shift in what's going on for you. But it really is the buildup of all these little tiny details that help to make the shifts occur. And you have to own them, and you have to respect them and not overlook them, because sometimes it is very easy to overlook what you may feel in that moment is a small detail. But that small detail, as I said, maybe it's just making you a smidge better that day. And if you do something else that day that makes you a smidge better, right, as all these little tiny things come together, that's what makes the big impact. So there you have it. There are the 4 things that can help you really take ownership over your performance and really help you to choose how you want to respond, and respond in manners that's really going to help you be your best in situations and deal with all the things that come your way as an athlete.